Hey, good morning, all. Thank you for joining us today. We will start the session at 11:05. Hey, good morning, and thank you for your patience. Welcome to the webinar Grow Your EdTech Business with AWS, hosted by Cloud.in. I'm Suvarna Jadhav, working with Cloud.in as a strategic partnership and alliance manager. As an EdTech business, you know the importance of staying up to date on the latest technologies and trends. So at this webinar, you will have the opportunity to learn about the most cutting edge technologies, strategies, and best practices that can help you stay ahead in the EdTech industry. So for today's session, we have Ms. Mayuri Deshmukh and Mr. Sanket Parade as a speaker. Our expert speakers will explore topics such as CDN, Media Elemental, Interactive Video Services, and more. I will just give you a quick introduction of the speakers. Mayuri is a part of Cloud.in sales team. She will share a quick introduction of Cloud.in. And Sanket is working with Cloud.in as an AWS Cloud Solution Architect. As a part of the Solutions Architect team, he has expertise in delivering solutions by employing AWS best practices, leveraging the wide range of available AWS services. Before starting the session, I would like to mention few points. All attendees are muted by default and cannot be unmuted during the session. We will have a question and answer session at the end of the presentation. If in case you have questions in between the session, please raise your hand to grab speaker's attention or ask questions through the questions section. I request Mayuri to start the session. Over to you, Mayuri.
Good morning, all. Thank you, Suvarna, for the introduction. Thank you all for joining us today. In this webinar, you will get the deep understanding of how your business can grow with AWS Media and Elemental Services, CDN, and IVS. So moving forward, we'll have a look on the agenda of the webinar. So in this webinar, you will learn about Cloud.in and the fundamentals of AWS Media sector. The second section will include a description of CloudFront as well as its feature. And the next section will provide a brief overview of IVS along with its features, followed by the use cases and satisfied AWS customers that are using media and elemental services for their workloads. So we'll start with a brief introduction about Cloud.in. Basically, Cloud.in is the brand name and Hosting Services Private Limited is our legal name by which we carry out the business. We are a young company and we have started our business as domain registered, and we have gradually moved up today where we talk about providing 24/7 knock and SOC centers for our customers for their workloads on clouds. So in this journey, we have garnered 22,000 plus customers and we have managed 40,000 plus domains. Speaking of the team, we have a robust 50 plus team certified on various technologies to deliver the right set of solutions for customers. We are headquartered in Pune and we also have a presence in Mumbai. We have been able to manage around 10,000 resources till date, and we have also managed 200 live workloads for our customers. We have also managed around 6,000 plus endpoints for our customers when it comes to cloud backup solutions. We have the service required delivery capabilities around AWS, and we are an advanced consulting partner with having achieved various competencies around the services. So we also help our customers with the billing support for GCP, Azure, and Druva, and New Relic and VMware are other partners where we help our customers with solution around cloud backup, application monitoring, and virtualization. To tackle the security portfolio, we have tie-ups with F5, Fortinet, and Checkpoint. So these are the areas where we have been providing most of our services when it comes to gamut of customers that we have served or have current relationship with. Our solution include cloud consulting and advisory, in which we definitely provide well-architected reviews, migration readiness assessment, infrastructure cost optimization. As I mentioned previously, we do reselling and billing for AWS, Azure, and GCP. Our other solutions include implementation and migration, application services. We also have our expertise in managed services, in which we provide 24/7 knock and SOC centers for customers. We also do resource augmentation and on-site dedicated resources. So here are the competencies that we have achieved and have helped us to provide the right set of technological expertise in various projects that we have taken up. We have expertise around CloudFront, CDN, Web Application Firewall WAF, Windows Workload, to name a few. With our experience, we have customers from industry verticals like media and entertainment, e-commerce, digital native business, and startups. We have been able to help customers in following use cases. To give you an insight, we have seen a lot of traction around use cases like serverless deployment, live streaming, VOD, video on demand, and content delivery. So moving forward, we'll have a look on Amazon CloudFront. So basically, what is Amazon CloudFront? Amazon CloudFront is a content delivery network service provided by AWS, and it allows business and developers to distribute their content, including web pages, videos, applications, and other files to the customer worldwide through a network of edge locations. When a user requests content, CloudFront automatically routes the request to the nearest edge locations, which deliver the content from its cache. So this helps to reduce the latency and improve performance, as well as minimize the load on the origin server. CloudFront also support a range of advanced features such as SSL and TLS encryption, origin access identity, geo restriction to help to secure and optimize content delivery. So the popular CloudFront features are global presence, high performance, security, and price flexibility. CloudFront has a global network of edge locations that are strategically located around the world. So this ensures that content can be delivered to users from the nearest edge locations, reducing latency and improving performance. CloudFront uses advanced caching techniques to improve content delivery speed and reduce the load on the origin servers. It also supports a range of performance optimization, such as compression, minifications, and image optimization. CloudFront provide a range of security features such as SSL and TLS encryption, as I mentioned, origin, access identity, and AWS WAF to help protect content from unauthorized access and attacks. It allows business to customize their content delivery settings, such as cache control and content routing, to suit their specific needs. So last but not the least, CloudFront offers flexible pricing option based on usage and support both pay-as-you-go and reserved capacity models. So that was a quick overview about CloudFront features. Moving forward, Sanket will give you in-depth information about IVS and media services.
So hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to the webinar. First of all, thank you for giving your valuable time and joining with this webinar and having a good interaction with one of my colleagues, Mayuri and Suvarna. So moving forward, we'll be looking into the media services which are delivered by AWS and the IVS solution, what the AWS offer for the live streaming and for the video on demand. So moving further, so basically, video is streamed over internet in mainly two nodes. We can consider the video on demand and the real time, the whatever the live streaming we can consider it to. So basically, we have distributed whatever the video streaming is done over the internet. We can consider by using the AWS media services, which are a number of media services which can be leveraged, whether it is a media connect, media convert, or IVS. We can bring into our infrastructure and leverage them in our infra to use their popularity features for conversion, transcoding, encoding. So in further slides, we'll be going to look that. So moving to the whatever the end customers are looking for the highest quality of experience, whatever the low latency, wide range of content, content production, monetization. So whatever this is a kind of a package AWS media services provide us to us. So whatever the basically we need to consider if we need to leverage some particular services. So what is the basically it will provide us while giving us feature and how we can leverage it. So basically the video on demand is a kind of a workflow we can consider to kind of a video files and whatever the played on the request, basically on a based on a request kind of thing. We need to have particular video to be played on the particular demand, whatever the resolution we need to play. For just an example of a YouTube, we wanted to play a particular kind of a video, whatever resolution we need to play. We can have a video on demand solution placed at AWS infra. Basically, the media assets are stored in a multiple different formats, which you must be aware of the bit rates. The whatever the bit rates we need to be considering, whatever the encoding is done. For example, the live camera is set up. So whatever the bit rate it has been streaming, and we can have whatever the streaming we need to have in whatever formats in multiple devices we can say. So there are multiple the terminology I can say. It's kind of encoding, the packaging I can say, the JIT just-in-time packaging with the different client devices. And moving to the live streaming, I can describe this as a workflow as a source content from a TV channels, which we see on a daily basis, or any live events such as a sport or concerts or news, or any live broadcast events we can say. So this content is packaged in a real-time multiple different formats or a different client devices. So whether we can leverage the IBS service also, or any media related service too. So video on demand and live streaming can both be delivered using one or more different streaming technologies, because there are a number of media services and the dedicated services are also there. So the major advantage of streaming the video on demand application is that a viewer does not have to download the particular file or whatever the video before starting it to it. It can just be on a request basis and whatever the demand basis, he can play that video and take the advantages of the media services. So coming to the further slide, these are the core fundamentals I would say which media services providers to us. I will just define in short. The firstly, it's kind of a transport service. Means, for example, you wanted to transport any particular type of video in a particular format. So it can media service can leverage it, and it can help us to transport in the video in a particular format where we need to deliver to our end user customers. So whichever device it may be, or whichever the resolution he wanted to, or depending upon his internet usage, how is the internet connectivity at his site, we can leverage those media services and we can do the config and accordingly manage that particular video in particular format. And coming to the live video encoding, we can have particular if we need to have some live streaming done at our site, for example, just to have, we can have a cricket match live streaming. So we can have that device. There is a device we get from Amazon, Elemental Connect, we can say. So where we can install it to the our device, which is a camera or any other device we are used for the streaming, and we can then embed into the AWS media services for the live streaming, and we can do the properly whatever the configuration we need to stream them according to the end user customers. So we can do it. And last is the monetization part, because see, if we are leveraging this media services, we need to have some business from it. So monetize we can do considering there is a media tailor services, I would say, where we can have an ad insertion kind of thing, where you can leverage with multiple what we can say the promotion or promotional or any ad campaigns. We can do it by leveraging any, for example, if you wanted to stream some gym fitness kind of thing, so you can leverage some protein related ad or any other the gym fitness related ad, whatever the fitness equipments or any clothing brand. We can do this branding on the video formats only by doing the ad insertion. So let's explore the media elemental services with the AWS. So I would just give you an overview. We'll not go into the depth because considering to the time constraint, we need to have also the IBS part cover. So we'll just look into the overview of it. So coming to the first service of the elemental media is the Media Connect. So it's a high quality transport service for the live video, I would say. Considering today broadcaster and content owners are rarely on the satellites, networks, or a fiber connection, right? So now for this, we can use the Media Connect, which can enable you to build mission critical live video workflows in a fraction of a time, and where we can leverage the whatever the cost we are bearing for the satellite and fiber services. Media Connect would leverage you the little bit cheaper than it, but it would give you a more feature kind of for the streaming purposes. Next is the Elemental Media Convert. So Media Convert is a file-based video processing service and that formats and compresses the offline content for the delivery. Basically, I would say in a layman's language, it's kind of help to transcode the video in whatever the formats or whatever the multiple device we are want our end user to look our video. So it helps into the converting that. And with this, we can have a high quality of video transporting then also based on the on-demand process, and which we can have a playback kind of a thing on the on-demand process only. And it's coming to the pricing part. It's completely the pay as you go, as AWS follows the pay as you go pricing model. So it's completely based on that. And coming to the Media Live, Media Live would say is a cloud-based live video encoding service that offer a fast, reliable, and easy-to-use delivery of high-quality live video streams. So, for example, as I given you the example of the if you wanted to live stream any particular event or any particular cricket match or any events. So Elemental Media would help you to streamline that live video by doing such operations and automation that management of ingesting that particular live video and then transcoding to the particular format and giving it to the end users. So it's kind of a highly reliable delivery of a live streaming solution, we can say. So these were the three services of the Elemental. Next is the Elemental Media Package. Now, media package would I would say first you need to understand is just give you a kind of a traditional idea about how this media package came into the picture. You must be aware of the packaging, like the just-in-time packaging means whatever the this video production houses does. Means for example, to view a particular video, there because we don't know the end user how is accessing a particular video from whether he's accessing from the PC or a mobile or any other device, whatever. So media package helps us to provide that securely reliable and whatever the package delivery of the live streaming format. So video providers can improve the viewing of the experience, easily integrate advanced broadcast grid or any other whatever the features include. So it's better to have media package embedded into our infrastructure as there are as we know our user base is increasing day by day as there are many multiple offers we get from the internet provider. So the user base for accessing the internet and viewing this video kind of thing is increasing day by day. And as per the reports, I would say coming to the year 2030, it would increase to the live streaming formats and the whatever the content production. It would be increasing in many numbers. Means the number is huge. So the market would be increasing as day by day. And coming to the next service, it's a media source. It's kind of a storage service only for the media services, where we can leverage the many other storage services. But to coming to the specific media services part, so media store is a media origin and a storage service that offers performance or a predictable low latency and delivery of the workloads into the live streaming video. This service basically is a right behind the once we need to some particular cache some particular video or particular we need to have particular store this video to be in particular format kind of thing. So it can provide us this feature of the storing the video and we can get the same performance what we are delivering using the another media services, whether it is a live or is it a connect. So we can leverage this too also. Now coming to the part, as I mentioned you, we can monetize your this live streaming or whatever the video on demand. So media teller is a service, it would play a major role because it is a service which gives you the whatever the personalization and what ad insertion service which gives you the leverage to use this service and do the needful of that particular ad insertion part, whether it is a whatever the existing video content, whatever you need to monetize those particular YouTube channels are there or any particular videos that you need to have some ad insertion particular time and whatever we can use the media tailor service for it, and you can do the your whatever the streaming is that you need to monetize it, we can leverage the media teller service. So these are the whatever as per our experience we have observed these are the customer challenges in a media entertainment sector they have been faced. So firstly I would say the retention is there, the whatever the low latency, so whatever the monetization needed to have or the video piracy is there. So there are many different, because see, if you are observing any YouTube channel, so there are multiple similar channels we can see of that particular host where we can see. So where the media services can leverage, we can have a securely channel created for the particular host where we can do the live streaming as well as the video on demand. So where the security comes in the picture, the media services are completely, I would say, protected, and whatever the features of the media services are there are totally embedded with the properly security feature. Whatever the pillars are there, considering the security pillar, they have definitely leveraged it, and we can use that media services as a security service also. Whatever the video content is there, that is properly encrypted. With those, we can have multiple security, what I can say, the guidelines, I would say, which is provided by the AWS, where we can leverage those and help your content to be properly secured, and only viewed to them those are authorized persons or concerned person. You need to view that end user customers, where you can view your video properly securely. So now you must be confused. Okay, now there are multiple sectors. Now how I can leverage those multiple media services? And so there are multiple, I would say, the whatever the service means, multiple sectors are there where we can leverage the media services. So one of there is the content production, I would say, and media supply chains are there where we can use, for example, the OTT channels are there, the news channels are there. Means any kind of a live channels where we need to broadcast something or go into the live streaming format. So these are the things. So media and entertainment customers face industry a wide transformation. Means how to create content, how we can do the media supply chains properly, how we can do the broadcasting kind of thing. Or there are multiple challenges they faced at their side. So I would say these are the 5 areas to help customer to transform their media industry, I would say. First one is the content production. Second is the media supply chains. Uh, which I would not justly define this, because as the word only define it, what we can do using this media services. So I hope that is clear. If you're having any doubts, you can just put in a chat option, so we can take it in the last. And where also the media services can helpful in the data science and media sector also, where we can use, for example, there must be a kind of a multiple videos at our side, and we need to have some done as a analytics part of it. We need to have some information from that video. We need to capture some particular clips from it. So where we can use it, and that can be useful for the business needs. Considering to the health sector also, we can say, and add to the edtech part also. So there, mostly the edtech part, how we will be leveraging. For example, I'm just giving an example. Suppose we need to have some online streaming classes for our students. So where we can leverage this media services, where we can broadcast our whatever the tuitions, whatever the classes are there, where we can have a video capture of that particular professor, and we can live stream into our whatever the media services, and we can just share the particular URL with our students, and they can use the benefits of the media services. And also coming to the low latency part and whatever the distribution, as Mahiri mentioned, we can leverage the CDN service, the Amazon CloudFront, for the content delivery, where we can have its feature of the low latency and whatever the features are there, multiple features of the CDNs. So we can leverage it. So where it's having a 200 plus pop locations are there. So whatever the content related to it, so it's whatever the serving in any part of India the student is sitting, so it's he is not facing some lagging issues, and whatever the streaming is done, so you get the benefit of that particular classes. So we can leverage those media services into the edtech part. So I would just explain about you the video live streaming in just a depth, just a workflow of it. So considering to the video live streaming, there are the 4 processes, I would say. So just for example, you can see the source. I just explained you about the, if we wanted to live stream, or we have to, we just need to have a camera kind of a production setup kind of thing, just to have, if we are shooting some film or whatever thing. So we will just have a source, and we need to have that particular live media live connect or elemental link embedded into it, and we'll just have an ingest process of it. And second is the processing part, where we'll process that video in particular format. And third is the storing of part. If we need to store, means the, for example, you don't need to have a live streaming, you need to have a video on demand process, so we need to store it in a particular storage thing, whether it is a media storage, or you can also leverage the Amazon S3 service for it, where you can store that particular video, and then you can use another streaming kind of thing service, media services, to deliver that particular video. And both processes the delivery of that particular video. We can deliver it to the CDN, as I mentioned, to the CloudFront, where we can use that CloudFront features to it as a content delivery network, and we can have this delivered to the multiple locations, multiple viewer devices, or the multiple devices where we need to deliver this video. So how this is a basically a streamline streaming works. Basically, these are the 4 steps. There are multiple services in this process, I would say. In the next slide, you will get to know about it. Now, see, as we are about to, these are the 4 stages, I would say. So for the ingest part, where which service we can leverage from the AWS, service we need to have, for the storage, which service we need to have. So basically, this is the gist of whatever the 4 stages I mentioned, explain you. We can go with the as per your requirements. So basically, if your requirement is to go with the live streaming kind of thing, so for the ingest process, we would go with the Elemental Live, which is a kind of a device we need to install in a particular hardware kind of thing. And we need to, for the process kind of thing, if there is a requirement of a monetization, we can leverage the media teller service. For a storing purposes, as I mentioned you, we can go with the multiple options. The media store is there, as well as the Amazon S3 is also there. And for the delivery, we can go with the CloudFront for leveraging its CloudFront features, and many other features as well. So moving to the media and services, this is a kind of a, we have used for the distributing whatever the which services can be used on a which particular process, or a which particular path, I would say. For the creation part, there are the services from the AWS, that is a Nimble Studio, theme-based deadline, and cloud digital interface. This, for the creation part, you can leverage this kind of a services for if you wanted to have on a scratch, you wanted to start from a scratch part, so you can leverage this for the creation part. But if you are not wanted to have creation, okay, you are having a particular at your side, the production house is there at your side, so you can leverage many other services segments. For the transcoding, you can go with the media convert. For example, if you are having a video house production and you need to have that video transcoded, but if you are not having a proper setup of team, or there are multiple teams or multiple team members at your side, but we need to have some automated way, so we can go with this media convert option for the transcoding process. For the monetizing, we can go with the media teller. So it's kind of a as it's kind of it's like a as per your requirements, means whether your requirement is a kind of a from a scratch, you need to creating the content to the contributing it, then transcoding, and then delivering to the end user, or it's just a kind of a, you need to have a particular process to be done, and we can leverage this particular service. So whether it's a, let it be a content production, let it be a transcoding, let it be a monetization, there is a solution for every path, I would say, where you can leverage the elemental media services. And we can do the live streaming. Now coming to the live streaming part, you can leverage the media services, but the AWS, they have come up with the IVS solution, where is a kind of a managing live streaming solution. It's kind of a bundle solution, I would say, where you can leverage this for the live streaming processes, manage live streaming processes, this service called. So you can use that. So further, we'll be looking into that. Looking to the use cases part, just to give you know how you can leverage. So this is the first use case, I would say. So as you can see, the high level architecture, this is the high level architecture. For example, there are some media source files where you have embedded into the S3 bucket, you have stored it. It's kind of a video on demand use case example. For I will just relate it to you, give you the live example. For example, if you have recorded some video, for example, I'll just consider the online classes, I would say, okay, and you have recorded some video and you have stored into the Amazon S3 bucket. So it can be stored in Amazon S3 bucket. And we have used the elemental media convert to transport that video into multiple output formats, means whatever the resolution, the 720p, 1080p, and whatsoever. So we can consider that, and we can use that service to transport that video and again store it to the S3 bucket. So we can have two buckets, I would say. One would be a raw bucket with a raw video material bucket where you can store the whatever the source file we have received from the end user, and where you can store and then convert that particular video, and then we can store it to the another bucket, which is the whatever the delivery content, I would say, and we can serve it to the CDN process. So whatever device it may be, whatever the resolution, whatever the end user is accessing, it will be completely available for it. And this, the downside of the supporting AWS services, means, for example, if you're leveraging the whatever the cloud solutions are there, if you're hosting any application or any website is there at your side, if you're hosting on AWS, so these are the, for the database they have used the DynamoDB. For the monitoring purpose, we can go with the CloudWatch as well as the CloudTrail we can have. Means there are multiple services we can have, but just to have for the media part, this is the simple use cases you can go with the using the media services and have a properly automated kind of a way for your video on demand process. Just to, you need to have your use cases properly aligned, means what is your exactly requirement, what you wanted to do, and we can then take up to it. Means if you wanted to discuss some particular use case, it's at your side, and then we can definitely do it. Means where we can have and given you the solution of it. And as we are having the expertise of the media solutions, as Mayuri mentioned, we have dealing with the media and customers, and there are many tech giants we are dealing with. Unfortunately, I cannot display the names of the tech giants, but yes, I would say there are the unicorn kind of MNC companies where we are helping them with the media solution only. So coming to the next use case, as I mentioned, as there are many, we need to have some business from our whatever that we are making a content productions. So we need to have some business from it. So media tailor is a service where we can have some monetization done, where we can have a ad insertion kind of a thing for that particular platform or for a particular video kind of thing. So where the elemental media comes, tailor comes into the picture, where we can have a particular kind of ad embedded in that particular video, whether it kind of a 10 seconds or whatever the minutes you wanted to play. So it's on your decision what ad you need to play or what is the type of a video. For example, as I mentioned, it's if considering the example of a gym, you need to have one particular, you're delivering some yoga classes, so you can display the ads of some particular yoga mats or any whatever the gym equipments or whatever the related to the yoga thing, you can display particular ads and you can have a business generated from it. So where you can leverage the media tailor service. So that's kind of a monetization done, as you also observe in the YouTube channels, how they do the monetization part, what are the promotions and whatever the ads are there coming into it. It's kind of a monetization done for them. So where you can leverage, but you can use the media tailor service with the AWS, and you can have your self content monetized by your own, and whatever the you need to have tie up with any brand, whatever you need to have service. So you can have this service in use and do the monetization part. So coming to the IVS part, as I mentioned you, it's kind of a managed live streaming video services. So coming to its feature, so I would say it's a kind of a managed live streaming solution which gives you the I would say the fully fledgedly live video available done for you for a viewer, I would say. And this handles the ingestions, transcoding, packaging, and the delivery of a live content. It's kind of a package, I would say. Because we need to, for example, in the first use case, as I mentioned, we need to have this media convert for the transcoding. For the live services, we need to have media live. But in IVS feature, it's kind of a all, means it handles all kind of this features, the ingestion as well as the transcoding, packaging, and the delivery of your content. Just you need to have that IVS properly set up at your end, and whatever the video you need to have live stream, we can go with. So considering to these features as multiple APIs, for example, there is a feature in IVS, I would say you need to have some create polls or there for the leadership board. I would say if you wanted to stream some particular gaming kind of thing, and you need to have some leadership board for it. So there is a customization where we can do with the IVS. There are multiple APIs we need multiple APIs we can integrate with this IWS feature, but it's completely depend upon whatever the use case you are dealing with and whatever your particular requirement is there. There is a customization option where we need to have, so suppose we need to have some live chat where we can have, for example, there is a cricket match going on where we can have a live chat, whatever the conversation is happening between the end users, how they are predicting whether it will be a kind of a, whatever the scores are there, whatever the prediction is there between the umpires and whatever the team is having. So there we can have a chat option also enabled. So it's kind of a customization we can done with the IWS feature. But basically, to live stream, we can use this IWS feature because it's a kind of a bundle service, I would say, where you can leverage where whatever the developers you wanted to add live video or enable interactivity with this video, whether it is your app or whatever the website is there, you can use this IWS feature, IWS service, I would say, and use the usage feature, whatever the live streaming is there, and create a live interactive channel at your side by your own, and where we are also having the expertise of it. I would give an example, means whatever we have leveraged, we were at our side, we were having a cricket match at a cloud.in. So we have used the IBS service for the live streaming purposes, and I would say the live streaming was very successful, as well as the coming to the end user part, whatever the latencies part, there was no kind of a lagging at their side, and whatever the content was there, it was a very much clear, and whatever the we had also enabled the option of a live predicting, okay, this team would have this particular score, this team would have this win or lose. So there was a good interaction with the end user also. So it's kind of a I would say this is a service. It's kind of a connecting to the end users plus the whatever the developers are there at your side. It's kind of a connecting both them with leveraging this service. And coming to the customer use case part, whatever the using the live IVS features and whatever the IVS service. So as I mentioned, we can have the vote and poll kind of a feature embedded. If you wanted to have some polls kind of thing, for example, you need to capture some polls related to which particular uh, I would say the any political party is winning or not. You need to have some live streaming done for it. So you can have, okay, which political party will have, you can kind of have a poll system embedded into the IBS service where you can have this API kind of integrate with the IBS, and you can do, we can have a Q&A kind of thing for it, live chat also. So you can basically you can engage your audience into particular whatever the content you are giving to them. They are properly engaged with you, whatever the video is. So they are also getting some properly inputs from your side, and they are also happily engaged with your content and whatever you're leveraging the whatever the Amazon services are there. So it get the properly of benefits of it, and also the end users get the whatever is required. Coming to the branding part of the media services and who are been leveraging, I know everyone would be a kind of a means they would kind of having a question in mind ki how Netflix is using, how Discovery channels. So just to give a gist about the Netflix part, so there are many of the media entertainment sectors we are dealing with the Amazon services. So considering to the Netflix part, as you can see, we can have a video on demand. For example, you need to view some particular movie or a series. You can, in a fraction of a second, you need to just log into the Netflix account and you are unable to view the video. So basically, it's kind of a video on demand, which they are leveraging the Amazon Web Services, and it's a kind of a media services they are leveraging for the search optimization, whether they are also leveraging the machine learning services from the AWS for the kind of a search optimization. For example, a particular user is mostly into the thrill or adventurous part of a kind of a, he wanted to look particular kind of a movies of it. So it's kind of a algorithm set at the AWS for the Netflix. They are using the machine learning algorithm to get that data. Okay, this particular user is addicted to particular kind of a content. This particular users is okay, we need to have some recommendation given to him on a particular kind of a content. So there are multiple services apart from the media services where we can leverage to do such optimization and do some customization with these particular services. So just it was an example for the Netflix, as there are multiple Dream 11, Discovery Channel. They are leveraging the media live kind of services for the live streaming as well as the broadcasting. There, whatever the content is there on the TV channels or the any live source content productions, both they are doing. So they are leveraging the media services, I would say. These are the some these are the some few of them, but these are the kind of top notch, I will say. These are the companies they are leveraging the media services. There are multiple many other brands who are leveraging the media services. So we can also come into the picture where the cloud.in can give you the best examples or the best solution for it, whatever your requirement is there based on your requirement, whether it's a live streaming or whether it's a video on demand. So, but if you wanted to leverage such services, yes, the AWS is having a many solutions. And if you need some expertise into it, if you wanted to have explore some more solution, yes, I would say the cloud.in is ready to help and is having expertise in many media related solutions. And so this was the overall kind of a we need to have delivered to you related to the media services, the IVS, the CDN, and where we leverage it. So just give me a second. I'm just taking a chat box if there are any questions. Or if you are having any questions, you can just drop it in chat.
Okay, thanks, Sanket. It was really an informative session. I hope all our attendees have found it useful. The session is open for questions. Please feel free to post your questions. Sanket, there is one question. Can I use Amazon Interactive Video Service for video on demand content?
Yeah, okay. So yes, you can leverage the content video for the means we can use that particular IP service for it. There, as I mentioned, you can also leverage the Amazon S3 service. So you can use that Amazon S3 service for the storage purposes, and where you can leverage. For example, you need to not need to live stream that particular video on that particular day, where you can store that video in Amazon S3 bucket, and you can then on a further whatever you need to wherever you need to stream that particular video on a basis on a video on demand kind of thing, you can use that particular kind of a storage to store that video, where IVS is given you the leverage to store that particular video in a S3 bucket, and you can use that particular video in a next particular whatever you when you need to stream. So basically, IVS we can have a particular multiple embedded features of the AWS service itself, other API kind of features also. So it's kind of basically on a requirement where you need to live stream on a regularly basis, or it's kind of a video on demand. So considering your use case and your requirements, it will be we will going with that particular IVS solution or the media elemental solution. So we can leverage the both, but it completely depend on your requirements.
Thanks, Sanket. There is one more question. It's from Kumar Anshu. He's asking, what is the minimum cost for setting up video on demand with ads in EdTech platform for 1,000 subscribers using 80% mobile and 20% laptop?
Okay, thanks Kumar for that question. Considering to the pricing part, I would not means display here, because see, I need to understand basically your requirements. Means I completely understand ki it's the requirement is clear, very much clear about your whatever the users are there. But related to the pricing part, I would say ki we can have a connect to another call, as our mail ID is mentioned, sales@cloud.in. You can just have a mail drop in there, and we can have a separate call for it for the understanding your exactly the use cases and understanding your commercials part, or where we can have any more any media services where we can leverage and where we can give you the more output, whether what is your requirement based on that. So we can also discussion on that. But I would request you to just drop a mail at the sales@cloud.in, so we can have a in-depth discussion properly for your requirement. And for the commercial part, yes, definitely we would also leveraging that. But for that, just need to have a proper clear idea of about your use case requirement, and where we can have a one-on-one conversation with you. So it's kind of a basically it will give you a clear idea about the media services where which you need to use. Are you going with the properly kind of a monetization part? I know the monetization part would be helpful in this, but there are many terms and conditions for it where we need to have consider as a prerequisite kind of a thing. So for that, we would have a one-on-one conversation. I would request if you can just drop your mail ID on the chat box, so we can get your mail ID from our sales team. They can connect with you.
Thanks, Ankit. There's one more question. Can you brief me about on what's the difference between Amazon Interactive Video Services and Kinesis Video Stream?
Sorry, Sona, can you just repeat the question?
He wants to know the difference between Amazon Interactive Video Services and Kinesis Video Streams.
Okay, so just to have a basically the IBS is kind of a for the live streaming part, but whatever the ingesting and whatever the packaging part. So IBS can be leveraged at. But to have properly a kind of a securely where we can leverage the Kinesis part, where we can do kind of automations for the any kind of a video based solutions or any particular securely kind of deliver that particular video. So where we can leverage the Kinesis video. So there are multiple use cases for using the Kinesis video streaming. So whether it's kind of a real-time basis where we can also have the analysis kind of a done for it. So we can leverage that also. So it's kind of a IBS, I would say it's kind of just a live streaming process, and where we can have a customization done for it. But the Kinesis we can have connected to a particular devices for the real-time basis, and we can done for it.
Thanks, Ankit. There are no more questions, so I guess we can conclude the session. Thank you all for attending the session. Cloud.in is an AWS advanced consulting partner with education consultancy competency. We have expertise in education and to architect, deploy, migrate, and manage workloads that provide unique, innovative, and personalized experiences. Our sales team is there available for you. You can connect us at sales@cloud.in to discuss further. Thank you again and have a great day.